Hi guys, welcome back to another installment of Vlog. As I've mentioned before, as I talk to different people and different entrepreneurs doing their thing, it takes a lot to run a business on your own. You have to start and then try different things to make sure that you could be successful. Even when you found a certain measure of success, sometimes you still have to go back and relook things and make sure that you're keeping up with the market so that you don't get left behind. I mean, does anybody have a BlackBerry anymore? But that. So today I want to talk to a couple of friends of mine who have a business, a successful business in Rio Claro, a pharmacy, and I will introduce them to you today. Hi, Karen and Dinesh. How are you guys?
Hi,
Hi,
Kimon.
hi.
We're good. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. I know you have a little baby there with you, kind of
Yes.
side.
He's here. He's here with us.
Hi,
Yes.
I welcome to the conversation too.
Yes.
So I was mentioning that you guys have a pretty successful business in Rio Claro, a pharmacy, right?
Yes.
How long have you guys been there?
We've been there for 7 years. This year, June actually made it 7 years.
Wow. And what's the name of it?
The name of the company is Medications with Love Incorporated
Oh,
Limited,
oh,
and
fancy.
we trade as the drugstore Rio Claro.
Right, right, right. So before we get into the whole nitty-gritty of the business, just to give everybody a little background, Farah and I actually met first. We were working together when I first moved back to Trinidad. My only job when I moved back to Trinidad. I met Farah because we were in the same department of the organization, and actually struck a very close friendship.
We
Bonded
did.
over all the craziness of colleagues, and the corporate culture. And even though you left first and then I left, we all always stayed in contact and made sure and kept the connection close.
Yes, definitely. And we both have little babies a couple months apart.
Yeah, a couple of months apart, like we're twinning. We have to completely twin all the time. I always
Yes.
say Farron is like, I'm my little sister from a different mother and father. So we always
Yes,
have to
I think
join
so
up
as
and do
well.
stuff. Yeah.
It's
Of
one of
course,
those relationships that although
Dinesh cool too.
we're not with each other anymore, we still try to maintain it.
Of course. And Dinesh, you cool too, You're cool too.
Right.
Well, he's all right. But I have a love for Farron.
No
So
problem.
I know you both were in corporate life before, right? All of us worked in the corporate culture. So what made you decide to leave? I'll have the niche start.
Right. So I decided to leave. Is a few reasons. One was opportunity. First of all, an opportunity came up to try and own my own business. And another reason was the desire to return home to my hometown and serve my community, and bring my experience to my community and to raise the standard of care in my community. So those were the two reasons that I left.
And what community is that?
Rio Claro, Mayaro.
So when you're working in corporate life, you weren't living there.
No, I used to visit every other weekend, every week. It all depends. I used to visit. I lived in St. Augustine, Kirep side.
And then when you say the opportunity came up, like what was this opportunity?
So the opportunity was the owner of a drugstore, the drugstore that we operate right now. He passed away,
Oh, doesn't so happily now, Dinesh.
and I didn't think anything about it, but one of my good friends, my very close friends, Mr. Colin Clifton, he um he highlighted the opportunity for me. I actually went to the guy's funeral without thinking that this is an opportunity that I should take up or I should ask about. And he is the one who actually encouraged me to do it and to look into it. And I did, and I got encouragement from my family members to, yes, it's a great idea, yes, do it. And this is where we are today.
I have to say that takes a lot of guts to say, okay, this person just passed away. It might, be kind of somebody might look at it as being macabre to kind of now jump in and say, well, could I take over the business? But sometimes you have to put yourself out there in the
Yes.
Yes.
situation. Not that you're happy that he died or anything like that, but
No,
you saw an
no, no,
opportunity
no. Yeah,
and you went
definitely.
after it, and nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. And what about you, Farron? What made you decide to leave?
Well, after I got married, um, I was working from home because I moved to Miami. So
Hmm.
you would remember I was working from home for about a year.
Yeah.
And then we actually made a decision to open another branch in Maribel. So when that came up, I made a decision to leave so that I could spend I could spend more time with in the business, being able to attend to everything rather than having to share my time and
Okay.
sorry, my time and effort between our 8 to 4 job and trying to run our own business. So I really had to make the decision then and there.
And I would too. I know you're being well nice about it and stuff, but I would say too that the corporate culture was becoming such that it wasn't really the most pleasant place to be all the time.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think
Yeah.
banking sector in particular is a real tough industry that I think a lot of people don't realize that, but it is
Yeah.
really tough and it could be very stressful.
Yeah. Exactly. It could be very stressful. So one thing I want to talk about, as I mentioned, as I started, that you have to make sure that you stay on top how the market changes, right? Because people change. People might have a way of doing things, and then like when they jump over a hat, it changes like how they want to conduct business, and then you have to change with them. Otherwise, you could kind of you know make yourself you can make yourself just be so outdated in the market. So when I thought things like a pharmacy, right? There's so many people now who have gotten into pharmaceuticals, like so many different businesses, and that's their main industry. When you think about, all these supermarkets now that have pharmaceutical licenses, and then you have like, beauty companies who do, then you have mega chains and who have all this money and economies of scale to just be all over the place. How do you compete in a market like that?
So the competition is tough. It is tough, but innovation, being innovative in your service delivery, being innovative as much as you can in your product assortment, um, and keeping your eye out there for any changes in the environment. In management, we talk about the pest analysis, the political, economic, social, technological environment, and those changes will have an effect on your business, and you need to adapt and adjust. And coronavirus is the perfect example for everyone to learn. We will be learning from coronavirus for decades to come, because
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus literally shut the world down.
Yeah.
And those businesses who had to completely adapt and change the way they do business. Pharmacies had to augment, I would say, where you would see more and more pharmacies who were willing to do delivery. And I dare say that years before coronavirus came, we actually had roadside pickup. We had delivery options as well. So we for when things change, you have to change with it. You have to be able
Yeah.
to analyze and change with it.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I did come down to Real Clary, North Person, and I
Yes.
was like, once I get lost, I think I like went in circles until I finally reached Clara, and then realized how vibrant down there. I know I'll sound like a North person who don't know anything about, you know, past Bazaar, even though I have gone past Grand Bazaar several times. But I mean, like I didn't realize how vibrant it was, and there are actually quite a few pharmacies on that strip itself. So I know you have to
Yeah,
compete them as well. One thing I
yeah.
did notice about your pharmacy, though, it was not just the regular cage pharmacy, right? You guys are a little different.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, yes. We actually that actually came somewhat by chance, in that, well, the infrastructure before did not have cage. It was not any cage on the inside. But what we were planning to do were to use showcases to still bar off and to put a barrier between the customers and the items. But as we planned on an opening date of June 1st, 2013,
Mhm.
um, the showcases weren't ready, and we
Uh,
just designed the store with what we had, and it became an open concept. The few people that came in whilst we opened, they absolutely loved the idea that there was a pharmacy where they can walk up to an item and touch it, something that they
Nice.
never that you're not accustomed to, except for some of the larger chains. So that's where we are. We did open concept, and it was loved, and we stuck with it from then to now.
So it was really by chance that you guys did the open concept and it just was received well and you continued on with it.
Correct, correct. And that's an example of where you adapt. Right there, something is working. That's a pragmatic solution. Go with it.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I know as well that you guys innovative in the way that you also expand your offerings, not just drugs, right? Because I've bought coconut oil, very nice, pure coconut oil from South, deep South coconut oil. That has been really, really good. And you also
Yeah.
sell those things as well.
Yes, but we try not to deviate too much from
Healthcare products.
healthcare products.
Okay,
We,
for us.
yeah, we want we I one of the things we want to be known for is for a place where there's professional competence and there are products that are related to pharmacy and health. So
Right, right.
we don't want to deviate too much and sell things that are unrelated. However, because of coronavirus, we are now compelled to expand our assortment to get the convenience items because whilst we were open, all of the cosmetic stores were closed. All of the
Uh,
stationery stores were closed. And there was an opportunity and there was a need to be filled. So we expanded a little, not a lot,
right.
just a little. And
Hmm.
that's to facilitate the needs of the customers who were coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. And does it do a favor to being in a place like Rio Claro, like it was? I mean, I don't want to sound so bougie or whatever, but does it work in a favor that people like kind of community-based places, so down there, as opposed to larger chains?
So okay, so in assessing our community, we are an agricultural-based community, and there is also a significant component of energy because Galiota is nearby. So there are
Right.
lots of energy companies and people who pass through Rio Claro on the way to Galiota who would stop and get services. Um, but yes, it's a rural community. We are one amongst maybe one, two, three, maybe four rural towns, and yes, it is. Everyone knows you. The interaction is different. Where I worked before in corporate life, where I worked at in Westmoreland, and yes, it's a huge contrast from the type of customer experience in Westmoreland to the ones that you would experience in Rio Claro, Mayaro. The expectations are different. But I try, and I have tried continuously to ensure that the standard of care that I gave to my customers in Westmoreland and the standards that I held my staff to at Westmoreland, I hold the same standards to those guys at Rio Claro. And it has paid off because people continuously um, commend us on the type of care that they receive. So
And
yes, so
one thing is I do follow you guys on social media because you guys are very active on posting when you get new products and just
Yes.
yes,
giving a lot of
yes,
tips and really, really good
yes,
informational stuff, right? Which I think helps too.
yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We recognize social media as a platform that's free to an extent.
Mhm.
Yes, you can pay to boost posts on Facebook, etc. But it's a platform that's free and everybody's using. And
Right.
yes, for years it's been an idea of mine to be able to provide information to customers on a regular basis on certain topics. And last year we started Fun Fact Friday,
Mhm.
which was a really good video presentation. Well, I'm calling it really good because at the point in time it was something new. But right now I feel I have a desire to make it into a real nice fancy video, maybe one like yours. Um, be of high quality before I put it out there. But yes, we do use social media, and social media definitely is the way to go in advertising and getting your word out there.
And one thing I want to mention too is that you guys have done a lot for the community, right? So like different when they have flood dealings with flood and stuff, you were very
Yes,
active
Yeah.
in collecting all that stuff,
yes.
Yes, we
making
try.
people really know you in the community because you guys have been so active with different causes and stuff. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Well,
Yeah, what year was it that we had really
this
bad floods?
2017 was the year 2017 Tropical Storm Brett was in 2017. right? And then in 2018, there was another flood in the area. Now we've noticed the area called Mafikin, which is actually where I'm from. The Ottawa River passes through Mafikin, and we've noticed within the last decade, almost every year it's going to flood and block the roads. And there are
Wow.
people who have lived there all their life, and they have no other choice but to live there. So they're literally living in a flood-prone area now, and they do get trapped. Now there's better preparation, but in the years when we went out there to help, a lot of people they were marooned for days. Food, fresh water, clean water was an issue. Disinfectants were an issue.
Medical supplies.
So we teamed up with a group called Cars and Coffee. You can check them out on their Facebook page. I think they have a YouTube channel as well. And we got some donations from them. I think they are located. It's a national group. It's a car group. They actually meet in Starbucks regularly for coffee. That's Cars and Coffee. And together with donations from our staff and persons from Rio Claro, we did a huge drive. The entire pharmacy floor was filled with bags and boxes. And we went up to the we went up at night.
We went up at night.
I think we closed 9 o'clock. And 9 o'clock we left Rio Claro to go Mayaro with Eric.
It was 2018.
2018, yeah, and we did some stuff the year before too.
Right.
Yeah. And we started to give out to people in Cedar Grove,
Right.
in Mafikin proper. We went all the way to Kernaham, Cascadoo. Those are places in the Manzanella stretch. So yeah, we try to, as much as we can, we always try to reach out the community in large ways, in small ways, wherever we can.
Every year, actually, well, I shouldn't say every year, but on the anniversary, I say probably for about 4 years, we did a health fair.
Free clinic.
Free clinic.
Yeah.
So my sister and her husband, and sometimes she tried to get a couple of friends. One of my cousins, he's a doctor as well. They're all doctors. They would come, we would set up an area for them, and they would see patients for free for that entire day. We also would try to get some promotions done by some of these companies, and have them come and set up, give out samples. We would probably have some eats and treats during the course of the week. So we try to do something like that every year for our anniversary as well.
I have to say, that's amazing. That's amazing. You're being well humble about it, but that is absolutely amazing, because not a lot of companies do. Sometimes big corporations do that, but they make sure everybody knows they sponsor the link and tell everybody that they do all that. But you guys are doing it very quickly, and I think it's amazing that you're making sure to give back to the community, because that is extremely important. That people don't realize how important it is to make sure that they have those connections outside of just doing business. It's not all about money. It's about making sure you have the relationships close, and making sure that you keep continually reach out to people. Because
of course,
those are the people who come in and support you, and
exactly.
It's a family.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a family.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's say that you were mentoring somebody who wants to start a business, okay, like a pharmacist like yourself wants to start. How would you advise them, especially if they're in a very densely populated place that already has a bunch of pharmacies, and maybe have like the big mega chains there as well compete with them? How would you advise them in the path to move forward?
Well, the reality is pharmacies are now becoming the new mini marts. So pharmacies are now one-stop type shops that people go to, and I guess and because of the amount, it really, mini marts are found all over. That mini marts are sometimes next to each other. So and similarly, we have pharmacies popping up next to each other. Right. So I would advise the person to analyze their market properly. I would advise them to do their research properly on the financial, the capital that's needed to invest. Develop a business plan. There are so many templates that are available online where you can do a business plan and really think through the entire process and plan for contingency, because sometimes your best laid out plans don't work. So I would advise them to be, and I always like to be innovative. I always like to talk about innovation. If we need to repurpose or redo how we do pharmacy in Trinidad and Tobago, and come up with an innovative way in which we do pharmacy, then that's something definitely the younger folks or the folks that are innovation minded can do.
Yeah, yeah, that's real good advice because sometimes you see one person doing well good, and then you say, okay, well let me just jump in and do it as well. And as I say, well I never know who comes first, people or Gopal. One person luck and the next person
Go
luck.
Pollock and see Pollock.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know who is who, but yeah, like you just sometimes you just never know. Like you think that you do just as well as somebody else, and then it might be a whole different scenario. And it's very important to make sure and do your research first, and make sure that you prepare. I mean, you can never prepare for everything because there's always something that happens, but it's very important to at least know what you're getting into, right? It's
Yes,
very
yes,
important to do that.
definitely.
I
So, I
think
mean,
one sorry. One thing as well, from our experience, I mentioned earlier that we tried to open a branch in Marabella. That wasn't successful. We ended up closing 6 months later. And definitely after that experience, I think both of us, we have learned so much from since then. And I think location is one of the most important things when um, choosing to set up somewhere.
right,
The access, what other businesses you have around you, convenience of the customer. Customers don't want to be inconvenienced in any way. Mostly, yes, there are some that will shop based on loyalty, but a lot shop based on convenience.
right.
And we need to
And what was
always,
wrong with location? Because I know Marabella is a very busy place as well.
Right, that's a good thing you asked that, so she'll answer you.
well, where we were, um, we thought it would have been a good location because we were
Next to a bank.
in JTA compound next to Scotiabank, next to a supermarket. It was kind of on the, we could call it a junction. That was very
Yeah, it was
roundabout.
very
It was
roundabout, yeah.
close, right? So it was a high traffic area because of the businesses it had around. However, the store, the pharmacy spot, was through a corridor, and the corridor was hidden behind a staircase that was to the front of the building. So we tried to bring attention to the fact that our store was there by putting up a big road front sign and putting up signs by the staircase so that people would see it. It still wasn't sufficient. It wasn't enough.
Right.
We needed to be able to easily see a place and easily access your place. And
Yeah.
there was no reason really for them to go through the corridor.
Mm.
That corridor was like they had a couple of hairdressers, and you really go to the hairdresser if you have to go to the hairdresser. You understand? It's not
Right.
something
Yeah.
you
And
know.
it wasn't like a mall where people just kind of
No,
walk and
no,
like,
it wasn't.
yeah, it was like that. Yeah, you kind of
So
just
it
go in
really wasn't
to
the
go in
best
there for.
location for us.
Right.
I
And well,
think
I mean, I remember speaking to you about that, and I remember you, Farah, and you were kind of, it kind of depressed you a little bit having to close and stuff.
it
But
really was, yes.
yeah, yeah, it was a sad thing because I mean, you were very excited about the opening and then to
Yes.
have closed, but at the same time, you know that you still have to go on, right? You still have to carry on. So, like, and talk about the lessons learned, a bit more about the lessons learned from that.
Well, so yes, it was very, very sad and depressing, but I would say Dinesh and I sort of felt a little relieved when we eventually closed. And that was because the stress of having to cover these costs. And if for a pharmacy, it's a high cost. You have to pay license fee, you have to pay pharmacist fee, you have to pay rent, and then you have all the other small bills to pay during the course of the month. So we were a bit relieved because we didn't want to start hemorrhaging the drugstore that we had at Rio Claro, trying to cover the bills at Marabella from that.
Right.
That could have, affected business. So it was a little bit relieving, but we knew that we needed to close, and I think the takeaway from that was we both realized that we should have done more research. We
Right.
both have done some more investigation. Maybe maybe try to figure out what the traffic would be in that area. Maybe see if we could have found a location in Marabella that wasn't so secluded in the back there.
So hidden.
Yeah, so hidden in the back.
So would you guys consider opening another branch sometime in the future again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely something that we talk about.
The Trinidad and Tobago, although it might seem as though areas are saturated, there are other areas that simply don't have any pharmacy or any
Representation, really,
access
yeah.
or easy access to pharmacy. We're not gonna let the cat out of the bag because we took a long drive.
Okay.
A long drive. We took a long drive to
See, Dinesh slipped out of the bud one time. He was like, "Hey, see nothing."
Yeah, you realize.
We noticed for miles there weren't any access to a pharmacy at all, and a population where there's an energy company that's based, and I hope I'm not letting too much information out, but it's something to consider.
Yeah, for sure. Because that was actually Walmart's strategy, right? Their strategy to go into small towns, not into mega cities. So even New York City up to this day, well, I think in Queens, but some parts of Queens is kind of remote, but New York City itself up to this day doesn't have a Walmart.
Right, and I think I suspect the strategy may have been similar for our local Pennywise. All of the initial stores were in towns that were humble, for want of a better word.
I mean, they were not Rima a long time. I don't know.
Well,
Rima. I mean.
Right, okay. Well, maybe bad example. Yeah, so our lessons from that failure in Marabella is I talk about it all the time is about feeling forward. You feel forward. You learn, you grow and you develop. People don't grow without experiencing mistakes.
Right.
And that's what we have to learn from. It might be
You
a hard
have to get back up afterwards.
That's
have
right.
to get back up. Yeah.
That's
and
right.
As you mentioned before, as you were talking, you said Trinidad and Tobago. We always forget that there's another place. There's Tobago. There's so much that you can
do and
open up and
I
stuff.
would love to do business in Tobago because to me, although Tobago might seem that there's a smaller market, but there is a nice, easier life in Tobago.
Right. And also they have more tourists that go there. You might get that market as well. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you're very right about that. Yeah. So I mean, this was very good information, very informative. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as well as we talked about stuff.
Now, one thing we didn't mention, I just came to me. When we were talking about different ways that we try to be innovative, we started an online store. Late last year, early this year.
Late last year, we launched in December.
Late last year, and it's supposed to be the entire store that we have online. We ship to anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago within the Rio Claro area. It's free shipping. Within and anywhere else in Trinidad and Tobago, it's $30. And we guarantee 48-hour delivery.
Oh,
so we've had a few orders. I mean, with the coronavirus pandemic.
You're talking about international orders.
Oh, yes. We've had a few local orders, but we've had so much international orders that we can't fulfill. And we can't.
That's amazing.
Because we are unable to ship medication, and items in glass bottles overseas, especially to the United States. But these shipping companies have their regulations for shipping internationally. So we could use Speedy Post to ship anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago, but we are unable to ship internationally. And I think if the rules were a bit relaxed, things would have been really good. Where we could have targeted an international market.
We're talking about Australia, Malaysia,
Turkey,
Hong Kong, the United Kingdom.
Had so much international.
That I have just had to send emails that we are so sorry we can't fulfill.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
Yeah.
amazing how people all over the world utilizing this service, but right here in Trinidad and
I know,
Tobago,
I
That's
know,
it.
I
That's
know.
it.
right there in Rio,
Finish, finish.
and it's 10% cheaper online. It's
Yeah.
even cheaper online.
Yeah.
So
And we
Hmm.
try to do the partnership online because we don't have, there's no need for a physical brick and mortar store. Online is,
Right.
you just get the product. So if
No
we're able to do
borders.
online sales, it's going to benefit the customer because they get it cheaper and our turnover would hopefully be better. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Wow, that's amazing. That's actually a very good idea. I know a lot of people who watching this might be like, okay, I'll give a pharmacy up to mark and stuff online and stuff. But that's actually really, really good idea. You have to be innovative in a time like this. You have to know how to be able to make money. You have to do different things and keep trying different things until something works and something sticks. You have to make sure and be innovative. But
that's right.
yeah, as this was a very, very good informative talk. I'm very grateful that you guys came on. I know that so much to do, and the little one wants all your attention. I can see
Yeah.
he wants to make sure that he has mommy and daddy.
Yes.
Guys, have any lasting words of anything that you guys want to just share with us before we go?
You go ahead. She didn't have anything prepared. I was just want to I want to say thank you for having us on. I want to say congratulations on all your efforts in this vlog.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
lovely. Whenever I get a chance, I look at your videos.
He does.
I am one of your subscribers.
I
So
Oh,
am as
thank you,
well.
Dinesh.
and you will see me commenting on videos because I love the idea of a YouTube channel. I love it. I absolutely love it. There are so many people all over the world who make so much money off YouTube, and I wish the same for you. So
Me too.
so in closing, I just want to tell whoever is looking that entrepreneurship is not easy. I'm actually teaching it right now to those pharmacy students, and it's not easy. So you really have to have a lot of guts. You need to have a lot of perseverance to go through it. And whatever you apply yourself, try and be the best at what you do, and innovate, innovate, innovate.
Yes.
It's very right. Innovate. Make sure that you understand your market, as you said before. Understand your market. Make sure that you have contingency plans in place. If you see
Hmm.
something's working, stick to it. If you see something
Yeah.
is not working, change it up a little bit until something else sticks. And just continue. Have the heart to work, fail forward, as you said. And you know what? Just stick with it. Stick with it because
Yep.
if your heart's in it, it's gonna
Consistency is key.
eventually bring you the reward. You
Yes.
guys are awesome. I'm so happy you all came on. Thank you very. I'm very honored that you guys, as my first couple coming on and talking to me. That's so nice.
Couple and Eric.
Couple, yeah, a couple and Eric, and the whole family came. Thanks much. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are great. So I know we will see each other sometime soon.
Yes, definitely.
Sometime in the
Dinesh and
future.
I, we definitely have to come by and have pizza.
Yes, I am looking
Yeah,
forward to that. Yes.
yes, yeah, to come true. I come real clear, come up on this side.
Yes, we have to. We definitely have to. We will.
Yes.
Friday.
So thanks so much.
Friday.
Friday. We're coming
Yeah,
to
you
Pizza
come
Friday.
come on Friday, man.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you, right? So
All
Yeah.
thanks
right.
so much, guys.
All
Thanks
Bye.
right.
for having us.
Okay.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.